and welcome to the Pink Hair Girl podcast. My name is Sally Jane, and it is wonderful to be with you again. This is episode 18, I think, and Pippin apparently wants to say hello. Come say hello. Come say hello. This is Pippin, for those of you that remember the tiny little puppy that Rachel introduced ages ago. He just saw himself in the mirror that I recorded the back of the podcast with. So he just saw another dog in the mirror and decided that was obviously he must now bark wildly at the now. Shush. Sorry. I was trying to show you his chest hair actually, because he's sprouted. He's a Yorkshire Terrier cross Dachshund. And he looks much more like a Dachshund. I mean, he's sausage dog shaped. He's not the long body, not quite as long nose, and his ears are a little bit different, I think. But yeah, he mostly looks like a sausage dog. But he is sprouting hair all over. I mean, he's got these random chest hairs, and then sort of like on his feet, and in other sort of random places. He's just sort of around his face, and then on his chest. It looks hilarious. He looks, yeah, totally hilarious. So anyway, that's Pippin wanting to say hello. How are you all? It's really good to be back with you. Today is the 9th of December. Yesterday was my sister's birthday, my older sister. So happy birthday, Jenny. And we're winding down. It's kind of the year is coming to a close. Titus had his little party or school thingy yesterday at the local swimming pool. They had a little picnic and get together for all the kids. And so he just goes to a play group, and it's a very small play group, very sort of homely, and his teacher's lovely. And so we had that yesterday, and his last day of school's today. Rachel's actually going to go and help with his school today, and Caleb had a play date. So I am at home alone midweek, which is, unheard of in the morning for me to have a morning to myself. So I thought I'd quickly say hi, tell you what I've been up to, show you some knitting. So this will probably just be a quick episode, and see how everybody's doing. Yeah, December's slow. I mean, there are lots of still things happening, end of year stuff. There's still stuff happening, but I kind of feel like the end is in sight, just for a bit of a relax for Christmas. And I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I seem to have this thing where every December holidays, end of the year, I tidy up and I declutter. And I mean, last year I think we threw away, I don't want to lie, but 100 bags full, black rubbish bags, refuse bags, full of stuff. We didn't just throw it, we donated and gave away, in boxes, and we just got rid of so much decluttered stuff. There's that thing, you can't actually tidy up clutter. You've just got to get rid of it. Just like I could be a minimalist, except for yarn stash. We're not going to go there, hey? But slowly stuff creeps back in again, if you're not like militant about it. And I just find that by now everything is just, we still don't have as much stuff. We're still quite careful with the money, but the stuff is not in its right place. It's just stuff lying everywhere. And I saw something on Instagram, actually. And now, of course, it was a Japanese woman that's written a book about not only, also the whole decluttering thing, that you just got to have less stuff. You can't organize stuff because it comes out of what you've organized it into, really. You've got to really, do you love it, is kind of the basis of keeping something. If you don't love it and if it doesn't bring you joy, don't keep it. But a way of organizing it, everything must be in its place. So I'm kind of making noises about getting this book, and I'll link to it. I'll put the name of it underneath. I'm sorry, I can't remember. And everything goes in a place, and yeah, like this big. So Emmett is feeling a little bit. He said, I want to have some leave and not just tidying up. It's been a tough year for him as well. But yeah, I'm kind of itching to. I want to sort out my stash. I want to sort out, label it. I want to see what's in it. I want to put it on Ravelry, log it on there, because I'm not very good at that sort of thing. Allocate projects to it, because next year I want to do a one in, one out kind of thing. I'm only allowed to put into my stash what I've taken out. And I know that it doesn't essentially stash down, but it doesn't stash up either, at least. And I'm hoping that in between that I'm going to knit, I'm not always going to be adding something, but hopefully I'll be able to get rid of some stuff as well. So I just want to organize stuff, make sure things are in a place, like the projects are in yeah, I like to store my yarn in plastic. I'm petrified and paranoid of moths, so everything's in plastic, and I just want to make sure everything's there, and then that I keep what I want. If there's anything I don't, then I kind of get rid of it. And part of that is also I've got lots of little bits. I'm sure you do. The end of socks, end of projects, there's always like yarn left over. And you know, I've seen the yarn blanket, you know, the scrappy blanket, memory blanket that lots of people are doing. And I don't know, I didn't feel hugely inclined to do it, especially when they started out. They look kind of so random, but I've seen a few now, and they're getting bigger, and I actually quite like it. Yeah, so, and then I saw Gina on Instagram who posted one, and she said it was too small, the 31 stitches, and so she was going to make her slightly bigger. And I said, well, I've been toying with the idea. So Gina and Sally, Wool Diaries, and I have decided to do the yarn, scrappy yarn blanket, but to make the square slightly bigger. And this will also help with using up stash. So I'll show you that when I, get what I'm working on. But also then I can put all the little balls of extra sock yarn that I'm going to use into a packet and kind of just organize it all. So that is my plan for the December holidays, is to do some tidying up and some organizing and some decluttering again. I don't know why I do this to myself every year, but yeah. I get to the point at the end of the year where I think everything's been so chaotic that you just feel like you need to clean out, start again. I do this every year. Yep. So the kids kind of get used to me doing this. And I like to also, with the kids, if they're going to get a whole lot of new Christmas presents and toys and stuff, that stuff must go out. You can't just keep on adding and adding and adding. So that's my plans, is to tidy up, and I'll let you know how we go. Let's move on to finished objects. And I actually have a finished object this time. It's not just my cozy. I finished my socks. These were my Monet inspired yarn socks that I got Electric Carnation, M from Electric Carnation, to dye for me. And she's on Hello Pretty. And they just cuff down. And I said last time I did the cuff a bit tight, so I had to redo that. And 2x2 rib, plain stocking stitch. I did try another pattern, but I didn't like it. It's plain stocking stitch. I did the short row garter heel that is in Claire Devine's corrugate pattern, and just a normal toe. So that was those. So that is my finished object. And I really like them. So those are my socks, and they are done. So I'm quite proud of myself for that. So as soon as I cast off socks, of course, I'm allowed to cast on socks. So let's go on to works in progress. My works in progress. As I said, if I cast off, if I've got, I'm only allowed to, I try to only have 2 sock projects on the needles at a time. So because I cast those ones off, these needles were free, and I could cast on the Geeks Christmas socks. I think I showed this to you last time in the green and brown woodland color, Nurturing Fibers man sock. And I did just a regular toe. And then the body of the sock, instead of just doing completely plain, I don't really want a pattern to follow, but instead of doing completely plain stocking stitch, I did, I'm sure it's got a name. I mean, I'm not going to be the first one to put this on a sock. You know, I knitted 1 and then purled 1, then knitted 3, and then purl 1, knit 3, purl 1, knit 3, you know, and then knit 2 rows. It's a bit like the Hermione Everyday Socks, except the Hermione Everyday Socks staggers it, whereas I've done mine in a line. So then you knit 2 rows plain, and then you do that same row again. So it just makes a slightly textured sort of a rib effect. It was just I've kind of knitted a few plain stocking stitch socks at the moment, and vanilla socks. I was getting a little bit boring. And I think I'm going to do the Fish Lips Kiss heel on this. I keep saying it, and then when I get to the heel, I kind of just do something that I remember rather than going to go and read a pattern. But I must actually, everybody's been talking about it. And Tracy said that she had done it, and then Jessie said that she was going to try it. Maybe we should have like a fish lips kiss heel trying a thon. Well, you know, just a long, not a thon. A thon is like a marathon. It wouldn't be a marathon to do a heel. It would just be a together. So we're going to do a fish lips heel together kind of thing, and then see what everybody thinks. So I've got the pattern. I was actually just going. This is 62 stitches. Geek has wide feet. It feels really wide. I need to actually try these on his feet. He was away last week and I knitted this far, and then I thought I needed to try them on his feet. And since he's been back, he got back on Friday and it's now Tuesday, I haven't tried them on him, which means that I've actually just been selfish and it's on my project and not on his. But look, I've started and I'm almost at the heel. Hopefully they fit him, and then it's just, then this one will be finished, and I've only got one to go before Christmas. I mean, I could easily finish that. So that's the Geek socks. And I think last time, with my orange and pink striped socks, the sparkly ones, also from Electric Carnation, I think I had only just cast on toe for this one. So I have switched up the colors so that the, oh no, you can't see because my hand's in the way. This is harder than it looks to try and hold these flat at the same time. There, that the toes start on opposite colors. And I've just started the heel on this one now. And so they'll be kind of exactly opposite in color. So that's quite cool. So I've started those, the heel's going in, so then it's just the leg to finish on that one. So that's my, also vanilla, oh, I did the rounded toe on this one. Tanya Murray's rounded toe on this one. And again, the garter stitch short row heel I did on this one, the same as the Monet ones. So that's that. And a lot of what I've been knitting on has been, I should be a bit more organized. Dropping stuff here. Right, here we go. Is my Bonnie, what do you call this? Top? Must be a top, hey? Yeah, it's a little by Tin Can Knits. It's like a little lace thing and with a pattern in it, and then you know, sleeveless top thingy. Right, so I can't remember where I was last time. So I'm in the middle of the row, which is just a bit silly because it's going to be very hard to show you anything in the middle of a row. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, so there's the, I'd started the lace part there. And I actually was knitting along so much on the lace part, enjoying it, because you kind of knit the lace part and then just, and I forgot to check the pattern. And I might have split off for the armholes a bit late. I think you're supposed to split off for the armholes, so mine only splits off about there. So I think I'm going to have quite a lot of pattern quite low down, because on the model it kind of comes to sort of central bust level where the lace, mine might start a bit low. I hope it's not going to look odd. Anyway, I'm going to finish this bit and then see. I don't feel like ripping back lace. I know that technically it means that if I now knit it all the way and then I don't like it, I'm ripping back a lot more than if I just went back those few rows. But I don't think it's going to be a problem. I like things longer anyway, and I'm tall, so you know, I think it'll be okay. So this is the Heart Lamb yarn. It's also got stellina. I'm knitting a lot with sparkle at the moment, and it was in, I can't remember the colorway. Sorry, I'll put it in, and it's just lightly striping, which I think has come out really nicely. I'm really enjoying the yarn. I'm enjoying the pattern. The lace repeat thing is easy, you know, to figure out where you are, and it's been quite a quick knit. You know, as lace goes, to call it a quick knit, but it's been enjoyable. Yeah, like sort of easy TV knitting, and so I've actually really enjoyed it. Okay, I need to tell you about swatches. I read a while, you either like doing them or you don't like doing them. And there is a merit in swatches, and I'm a designer, so I have to tell you that you need to swatch, otherwise you don't know how big it makes sense. We all understand it in theory. In practice, swatches do not always do what they are supposed to do, especially small swatches, because a small swatch cannot tell you what a big amount of knitting is going to do. And I've read this before. I think it was on the Yarn Harlots blog. I'm going to have a look if I can find that article about swatching, because it is really interesting what they said. Because a swatch that you've done, and it's exactly the same needles on exactly the same yarn, right? And now if you compare that to what this looks like, you will see that this is a lot. I don't know if you can actually see it. So look, I know that the one's blocked, so it's going to come out smoother. I don't know how well this is going to demonstrate, but I'm sure you can see that this is much tighter than this. First of all, swatches we tend not to knit in the round, and knitting in the round changes your gauge, because I tend to, well, I don't know about everybody, I tend to knit tighter on my purl row than I do on my knit row. So if you're not purling back, when you're doing a flat swatch, you're purling back. If you're not purling back and you're just knitting in the round, your gauge tends to be looser. Your gauge also tends to be looser on a bigger project. I've often found knitting in the round, not even knitting in the round, knitting like for example, the Baobab cardigan that I did for my book, or the woodland cardigan, knitting, the woodland cardigan wasn't in the round, it was just sort of backwards and forwards, but over, bigger distance. When I knitted the exact same yarn, exact same needles, and did it in the round for the sleeves, I actually found I knitted tighter on less stitches. So the number of stitches and the knitting in the round or not in the round all changes your gauge. And so on my gauge square, I looked like I was much too tight and needed a much bigger size. Whereas actually in my knitting, it is quite a lot looser. So I think it'll still be fine, because I went down, I chose a bigger size than I probably would have based on my measurement because of the gauge square, but I still think it'll be fine. I think I'm slightly bigger than gauge. It doesn't matter. It's going to be fine anyway. But I'm just saying, often a gauge square, and they did say knit a big gauge square, I realized that. I did cast on quite a lot there, and I could have been patient that way. But I could have gone longer and it still would have been the same. It needed to be, you would have to have done a gauge square about this long. You would have had to kind of knit half the blimmin' project to get a gauge square the right size to see if what you're doing, and I know you need it to know how many stitches to cast on, so it really is a bit of a catch-22 situation. But almost, if you know you're slightly tighter, maybe go up a size, whatever, just cast on the project sometimes works, and then just knit and see, because by the time you've knitted however many rows it is to be able to measure a good gauge anyway, you'll have a much better idea of the gauge that you knit that project in, the number of stitches, and I know you don't always want to stop and wash and block and wait for your knitting, but it is very difficult to get an accurate gauge swatch on a small thing. So sometimes it's, I don't know. I don't know what the exact answer is. I know the theory of swatching is to get your number of stitches and number of rows that you're then going to use on this yarn with these needles, but it isn't as easy as that. It's the number of stitches on these needles with this yarn and knitting that many number of stitches in a bigger, thing. And especially if it's going to either be in the round, but even in the round on the Baobab cardigan, I went in the round, and my in the round for on a bigger project is looser than my in the round on the sleeves, for example. So I always on a sleeve, on a something that I'm knitting, go up a needle size, for example, to get the same gauge between the body and the jersey, the body and the sleeves. So yeah, gauge squares are difficult. I don't know if you've had the same issues with yours, where you've done a gauge square and then your actual knitting is something totally different. So yeah, the gauge is very different on this than it is on the gauge square. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but it was just to mention that. I'm not sure if other of you have also had those issues, and I know they're important, and they work out better when you're doing a smaller project and you're doing a smaller gauge square, that what you're knitting is more or less the same. Otherwise, if it's going to be a project in the round, you have to cast on a lot of stitches, and you've got to knit it in the round to get an accurate gauge, and then you might as well cast on the project, because if it's not going to be the correct gauge on your gauge square, you have to rip it out anyway. So I don't know. I know knitting really enormous gauges squares seems to be a bit laborious before starting a problem, but smaller ones are not necessarily useful. So that is just my comment on that. How to solve it, I'm not entirely sure. Even my Lush cardigan, my gauge square was different to the final actual knitting thing. It helps a bit, but yeah, it's not 100% accurate as it's sometimes sold to be. Okay, so let me show you the yarn sock yarn blankety mitered square thingy that I'm going to do. So Sally from the Wool Diaries podcast and I are going to show our progress on our podcast, and Gina is going to show hers on Instagram. So this is my first. I also went with Gina started and she did the 31, and then she said it was very small. So I also wanted them a little bit bigger. So I did 41 stitches on mine. And the first one I did was from the yarn from my mom's socks. The Hope Can Rock socks that I did for my mom while she was having chemotherapy. So this is my first little one in the toasty colorway. And I really like being able to use up little scraps. I've got quite a lot of extra sock. Sorry, do I hold that? Sometimes I know we don't hold these things long enough. Okay. So I got a new bag. Last week I met Elaine Illaby. She was in Cape Town. We had a lovely meet up and a coffee and all the rest. And she brought, remember she made that lovely rag doll for Rachel that I showed quite a while ago for Rachel's birthday. And she made one for Caleb. He had asked for one when he'd seen Rachel's, and he said, well, couldn't he have a little boy rag doll? And so she made him one, and he's called it George or Georgie, and it goes everywhere with him. It goes to bed with him, it watches TV with him. It's really cute. He loves it so much. Thank you very, very much, Elaine. And she made me a bag. How cool is that? And it's a really big bag. I like big project bags because look, I like having a range of sizes of project bags, let's be honest. But this one, I thought I was going to put a sweat in it, but I think actually what I'm going to do is once I've sorted out my stash, like I said I was going to do, I want to put all the sock yarn scraps in here and have this to do my scrappy blanket with. So the one I've just finished, my Monet socks, is in there, and I've put a bag. This isn't actually all sock yarn, I need to sort it out. I've put a bag of scraps and my needle in here. I'm knitting mine on a 2.75 millimeter higher, and I've done the 41 stitches. So that's what I'm going to do mine in, and I am quite chuffed. I like that size. I know some people haven't repeated, like they've done, if they've done one color, that's the only one time they're going to use it in a blanket. I don't know, I might do, but I know I've got a bit more of this one. I could definitely do another square of this one. So I might actually do more than one per color. I'm not sure. I'm just going to see how it goes and take it as it comes, and that's what I'm going to do. So that is my start of my scrappy blanket, and I'll try to show you some progress each week. I just went to get Georgie to show you. Look, he's got green eyes like Caleb, and he's got some crazy fuzzy hair which Caleb quite likes. Although he mentioned maybe giving him a haircut, I'm not sure. Anyway, so there's Georgie, and he wants to make him some clothes as well. So cute. So that's Caleb, and as I found it now on his bed. It had been there from where it had slept with him last night. We met Elaine while Titus was at playgroup, and we got in the car, and then Titus said to Caleb, you know, what did he have? And Titus says, no, we got this dolly when we met the lady at the beach. So Titus says to me, Mommy, can we go to the beach? Can we go find the lady on the beach? I also want a dolly. So like every time one of my kids see, and he'd never been interested in Rachel's one before, so that's why I hadn't even mentioned to Elaine. So I might need to ask Elaine kindly if I can get another one. Seriously, right, I should have known that Titus also wanted one. Anyway, so there's Caleb's little Georgie, and I thought that was so sweet. And she made me a project bag. It was lovely to meet her and lovely to chat. I love meeting other knitters and having a good old chat and all the rest. So that was fun. Right, sorry, the dog is jumping on the podcast stand. The last thing I want to show you quickly, because I said today is just going to be a short episode, is the prizes for the knit along, and talk a little bit about the knit along. It's been a while since I showed the prizes. We are having a Where I Live knit along, sort of in celebration of the Mzansi book. And if you are interested in seeing what the Mzansi book looks like inside, if you don't know if you want to buy the whole book, or if you want a hard copy or a digital copy, or whether you want to buy it all if you like what it's like, if you go and look on, I have recorded a special podcast just about the book. So I think it's called Inside the Book, and it's episode 17B or something like that. And it's all about, I show you all the patterns in the book and talk about each one and all the rest, so you can see what they're like. Yeah, so let's get on to the knit along. So because the book was all about where I live, the knit along is called the Where I Live knit along, but it's for you to show me where you live. You get, and you need to be a member of the group, and you need to basically tell me a story with whatever project you have about how it reflects where you live. It can be a color, it can be something that reminds you of scenery somewhere, it can be a functional thing, it's really cold where you live now, so you need a certain knitwear. It can be yarn you bought in a certain place, or you knitted in a certain, whatever. You know, the interpretation is pretty broad. And it runs until the 31st of January. I've made it quite long because it's a busy time of year. People are trying to finish Christmas knitting, and then it gives you the time from sort of after Christmas and into January just to finish up and to kind of put your projects in. So please put a new post per finished objects in the finished object thread, and keep the chatter to the chatter thread. So you need to be a member of the group. You need to put your project up. Oh, you get an extra entry for knitting a project from the book. But you don't have to knit from the book. Any project will do. And I think that's what all right, the prizes. There will be random prize draws for the finished objects. Obviously, I'll draw from those. There will also be the fastest needles first prize, which we already have a winner for that. Then there's going to be the chattiest person, the chatty thread. There's going to be a prize for that. I think I know who's in contention for that one. There is an Instagram prize. So if you use the hashtag Where I Live, there is an Instagram prize for an Instagram post. There is a prize for the best story as well, for the story that I like, something that's really told an amazing story for their project. I think that was all. I think that was all the prizes. So let me get on and show you some of the prizes that we've got. So I've only shown you pictures of this one before because it arrived in the mail last week. This is the Heartland yarn. Remember I said that Michelle from Heartland was sending us 2 skeins of yarn. So this is the Darling Lace, 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk and 10% cashmere. 800 meters, 100 grams, and it's called Bend the Rules, and it is beautiful. Look at that, it's in these purples. This is very, very similar, if not maybe the same color that I knitted the Jacaranda shawl in. This is beautiful, people. Seriously, seriously beautiful. And it's soft. Like the Jacaranda shawl has a beautiful drape to it. It shows the lace while it's knitted in this base. This is more than enough to do the Jacaranda shawl. If you can see, the Jacaranda shawl is quite big on me. And I'm tall, so, and I think I didn't use the full 800 meters, but you can. The pattern is perfectly adaptable to make it bigger, and it gives you a recipe for how to do that. Yes, that's lovely. Then the other one that I'm going to find very hard to give away, and that actually Kaylee was already wanting, was the Calvinia sock base, which is the 20% superwash merino and 20% nylon, and this is 365 meters and 100 grams, and it's called Foundry, and this is the exact color that the Josie socks are knit in the book. So you can go look at the Josie socks and then see this is the exact color, so you'll see how it knits up. This is nice, very, very nice yarn. So that's the those 2 yarns from Michelle. Very jealous, I have to give those away. Then the other yarn I've got is some African Expressions Love, and the African Expressions Love is mohair. It's a 78% mohair, 13% wool, and 9% nylon, and it is 50 grams. Not sure if it doesn't say what weight it is. Knitted on a 5.5 to 6 mil needle. And I have 3 of those to give away in this sort of lovely chocolatey color. Right. And then I have one of those cute sort of like concertina ring sock yarn project bags that opens up like this, you know, and then you put your ball of sock yarn in it with 2 little tags on either side, and it's lined. And this was from the box when Elaine sent me Rachel's little dolly, and it's got a nice African, bright orangey African print on the outside and a print on the inside, and that's all zipped. There's that one. And then the other project bag I have shown you before, but in case you're new to the podcast, is from Anne's Work Basket. Anne is in Cape Town, and she runs an Etsy shop, and her bags are also always fully lined, and she has a really cute little a tag on the inside of her bag with a safety pin and some stitch markers. Oopsie. Let's see if I can. There's little stick markers on the tag inside, so you can keep your stitch markers with your project at all times. I think it's really cool. And that's all lined with a little handle on the side. Very nicely made. As I say, Anne's got an Etsy shop which I will link to, and it's got a little owl on the zip, which is really nice. So there's this project bag up for grabs as well. I've tried to keep all the things sort of African themed or from South Africa, because, you know, it's been about the book and where I live and stuff, so the prizes are all from where I live. About your stories about where you live. Then these are the buttons. They've come off the card, but I promised to attach them or to make them nice before they come to you. They are the incomparable buttons, and they are handmade, fully washable, giving employment to women in South Africa. There's the little tag, and so that's the hippo, and then there is a zebra. I hope this is focusing on this and not me. And there is a elephant and a lion. I don't know if these are focusing on the little buttons. And then there's a rhino. So that's the little African inspired buttons. There is a set of those for a prize as well. There's their little baggie. So I promise I'll either stitch them back onto the card or put them in something. The little stitching at the back just came off. So, and then I have some African traditional South African dishes tea towels. This is babua tea, which is like a meat dish, but made with ground mince, ground beef or mutton, and then like so Cape Malay influence. It's kind of spicy, but not hot spicy, interesting spicy. And then there's Melba pudding, which is like a traditional South African hot pudding. I suppose a bit like sticky toffee pudding, but not quite. And then I'm also going to get some beadwork. These are the ones that were used in the book, but they don't have bracelet attachments to them. So I'm going to get some that you can actually use as little bracelets. And then I've got some Wilson's Toppies that I will put in with the prizes as well. So yeah, that's the prizes for the knit along. So there's some nice yarns and project bags, buttons, all sorts of things. So come and join the knit along, and yeah, show me where you live and what projects you have been doing at the moment. I wanted to tell you about some acquisitions, some things that I got. Let's start with yarn because that's always exciting. I ordered from Electric Carnation M. I ordered some self-stripe yarn for Christmas, of course. So I ordered a, this is called Pretty Tree. And this is a self-stripe in light green, dark green, red and white. And then I ordered another one for another Christmas inspired one, and this one's kind of got a deeper red, and this one is called Red Bauble, and this one, also self-stripe, is actually going to be for my Christmas swap partner. But I know that this episode is going to be up after that she will have gotten the parcel, so I won't be ruining any surprise. And I know that she usually catches up with these quite late, so hopefully she won't see them before. And then I got another one, which is called Josie, sort of for the colors of Johannesburg, the gold and the grey and the blue sort of skyline and the red sort of clay earth and stuff. I'm not sure I'm going to do what I originally thought I was going to do with this. I'm not sure. I decided I was going to knit a pair of socks with this, but I think that this actually might lend itself more towards a toy. I'm thinking either the Miss Gelato giraffe pattern of Kay from the Bakery Bears podcast, or maybe even one of her bears, or one of those little monsters. There's quite a cute one that came with a kit from the Where the Wild Things Are monster. And Rebecca Danger also does some nice monsters. I just think it kind of, immediately when I saw it, it just made me think of one of those toys, and they're sort of knitting up in stripes, that it could be really cute. So that is, I think that's what I'm going to plan to do with that one. And then, I know I was a bit late in, it's not Halloween anymore, but I was doing the order and I had to get it couriered, so I thought I need to order what I wanted to in self-stripe. And I know she was running low on her sparkle base and she's going to be ordering some more, but I thought before it ran out, and I'm sure she'll get some more before next year Halloween, but I was thinking about Halloween, so I ordered some Halloween yarns. This one is called Halloween Stripes Boo, and it is grey, purple, black and orange self-stripe. Isn't it cool? I think it's really cool for next year Halloween. So those are the yarns that I ordered. And then I went and on Sunday we went to, I wanted to put some more things in my swap parcel, and I wasn't really sure what to get. I was kind of running out of ideas. And then I saw on my Instagram from no, it's not indigenous. You see, I actually don't know how to say this properly. I think it's indigenous. I'm going to go with indigenous. In the watershed, which is the V&A waterfront, the Victorian Albert waterfront, is built sort of where the docks, on the one side of the docks. There is still the working side of the old docks in Cape Town, where my grandfather used to take me as a kid. I remember I've got pictures of the docks and of running. Oh, there's one really hilarious picture that I remember. I can picture it in the photo album. We were there, my sister and I used to fly down to Cape Town unaccompanied when we were a bit older, and we used to spend the Christmas holiday with my grandparents down here. And because we lived up in Pretoria and they were down here in Cape Town. And we went to the docks with my cousins. My grandfather took us and my cousins to the docks. And my one cousin did not want to be in the photograph. So my grandfather poses, I don't know, we were in front of a car. It was like and the docks, I don't know, I can't remember the exact, all I remember is my cousin was trying to get out of the picture. So he ran across, I guess he's running away from the camera, except he ran the wrong way. He didn't run away out of the picture, he ran away into the shot. And I just remember there's a shot of my cousin running across the camera as he's trying to get out of the shot, except he ends up being like the main focus of the shot. Anyway, I totally digress. At the old docks, they've now built the V&A waterfront. It's a beautiful, there's a lovely hotel there, there's a very fancy shopping centre, it's a big tourist attraction. It's got lovely boutique shops and all sorts of things. And they've got a new, almost like a permanent flea market, if you think of that, but very sort of upmarket, more handmade, artisan craft type of things. And it's called the Watershed, and it's basically like a big yellow shed, and it's got all sorts of little, some sort of more fixed shops and some sort of more little stalls. And I had seen that the, how did I say, indigenous, I'm really sorry, I'm probably butchering this terribly. I saw it on their Instagram that she was talking about their hand-painted ostrich tree decorations, and I was struggling to find a decoration to put in my swap parcel, because my swap partner quite likes sort of heirloom Christmas decorations, and I'm a kind of a eclectic, kids have made it, handmade, throw it on your Christmas tree, funky Christmas tree decoration kind of person. I don't have a real theme for my Christmas tree, and I don't have, you know, beautiful, I've got some really nice handcrafted stuff, beautiful handmade things, but I've also got, you know, things the kids have painted, and you know, hammer bead things the kids have made, and all sorts of, you know, bits and pieces and stuff from all over the show. I'm not that fussy when it comes to my Christmas tree. I really like it to be a wild, eclectic mix of stuff. So I'm trying to think, she said she liked heirloom things. I'm thinking, well, heirloom things kind of mean something you can hand down, or something that you have for a long time, something sort of fancy. And I thought these ostrich egg, hand-painted ostrich egg decorations were so beautiful. I'll try and insert a picture of what the tree looks like with all of them on. It's gorgeous. And there's this really fat angel, which is beautiful. She's really gorgeous. And I didn't notice at any point that she's actually got boobs etched on her, which I think is hilarious. I'll try and insert that. Anyway, so I went there, and my swap partner really likes snowflakes. So I went to get her the snowflake. So it's got this is a leather cord, and these are all completely individually hand painted. So it's got a star. Is that focusing? It's got a star on the one side, and then the snowflake on the other side. So I don't know if that counts as an heirloom Christmas decoration. I thought it counted as something nice that you could, you know, it would last, and you could pass it down, and it's not antique or anything. But anyway, that's what it made me think of going to the Watershed. And then I also wanted to get, while I was there, something for my sister for her birthday, because kind of when I'm somewhere, then I think I must just get, and I actually wanted to get something that was slightly more, that had sort of had 2 layers, but Rachel convinced me these are the ones I must get for my sister's birthday. Now her birthday's only in March. Now these are also from that same indigenous shop. Remember my earrings that I showed you on the one podcast? I haven't brought them now. They were the ones that they gave me as a gift from there when I went to go and visit the shop. So look there, it's indigenous. I think that must be indigenous. I keep wanting to say indigenous, but I mean, of course it's not. And then, yeah, and then I knew it was designed somewhere in there. Anyway. And the actual Easter eggs are called Mambu designs, handcrafted ostrich Easter eggs. And then you can see they are painted, individually painted. Oops, I dropped it now. These Mambu designs are sold in the indigenous shop. And so I got those for my sister while I was there. Rachel chose these ones. She said they were the ones to have for Auntie Sarah. I would have got one with another sort of, it's like a little more dangly ones like mine. But my shopping assistant assured me that these were the ones that I had to have for Auntie Sarah. So that's what we got from the indigenous. And then I also got for my swap partner, she likes really natural stuff, and not you know, body products that are really natural. So there's a company called Rain, which creates all natural body products and stuff. And this is also nice. It's an artisan soap. It's 100% natural, and they actually give you the artisan's name. This was made by Simon, and then I thought that was really nice. So this one, you know, tells you all the nice things that it's got in it, you know, coconut oil, and it's got olive oil and lime leaf and aloe and honey bush and cinnamon and citruses, sweet orange essential oil, and it's not tested on animals, and it's got no other sort of nasties in it. It's all made by hand. So I thought that she'd really like that. So I got that for my swap parcel as well. I'm not going to show you. Oh, and I got something for her daughter from the Lush shop, which also does natural cosmetics. There's a little one of those little fizzes, bath fizzes thing, a little bear. I thought she'd quite like that. That smells really nice. It's a little creamy vanilla scented bath bomb with cocoa butter to soften the skin. Butter Bear Bath Bomb. So I thought that was quite cute because she's got a little daughter. And the mug hug I made that I showed you last time, that I made for her, which the mug is over there actually that I got to go on. And I made her an angel, mosaic angel. And I got a little, she quite likes a nautical theme. And she lives by the coast, they do surfing and stuff. So I got this little, what do you call it? A bracelet, bangle thingy to go with that. And some little buttons for her daughter. Well, I suppose she could use them for her or her daughter, really. With little butterflies on. And some mini skeins. She likes blue, so I made up a whole lot of blue mini skeins. And I think that's what, oh, and over there I haven't brought it, it's just, is some Turkish delight and some coffee and some chocolate to put in the swap parcel as well. It needs to be the 12 days of Christmas, was the theme. So I'm going to wrap each one up and then write a little thing about, I don't think I'm going to be as mean to say that you can only open one a day, but I'm just going to, I'll have them in an order and it will make a little, I don't know if it'll quite rhyme, I'll be good at poetry, it'll make a little story, whatever that goes with it for the little 12 days. So that's my my swap parcel and the different things that I got from that, different purchases. Then when we were at the watershed, I saw Rachel on her Christmas list had written that she had wanted, now Rachel plays along for Christmas, she knows, but she totally plays along. Like when the geek was away last week, like I said, we put up the advent calendars and then the fairy brings them a little present, or well, it's a little coin that they save up and they can buy something at the end, and a sweetie. And the one morning when the geek was away, Rachel came and said to me, Mom, you, the Christmas fairy, have forgotten to put the things in quickly before the boys wake up. So I mean, she does know, but she plays along really well. And so when we wrote the Christmas list for the fairy, she had on there that she wanted a dress. You know, a summer's dress. So when we were at this watershed, I saw that there was a stall selling some dresses, and I thought, you know, she really quite likes something different. She doesn't always like the total normal, and I didn't really see anything in the shops with very nice dresses. So it was my turn to watch the boys, and I sent her and the geek off to go and have a look at the dresses. And this was the one that she chose. I don't know if you can see. And I just love the fact, apparently this is the one she was drawn straight to. Emma was looking at some others, and that comes in a 9 to 10, which is perfect for her size, with a nice zip down the back. And I just really love that she's drawn to something so different from the complete ordinary, you know. She likes blue, she's very, very fond of blue. So this sort of blue and yellow, and apparently this was the one. She just went straight for it. And it's got a little... it's even got a little line, you know, it's lined inside. It's even got a petticoat lining inside. So that was the dress that she chose from her Christmas list. I think it's really lovely. I think it's a bit different, something really interesting. So that's what she's going to get as part of her Christmas list. Was that all I got? Was that all my... Oh no, I must tell you. So you know what? The geek thinks I'm crazy. He doesn't like really big jewelry or anything like that. And I said to him, I want Christmas earrings. I actually want a big Christmas tree Christmas earring to wear on Christmas Day. I mean, come on, it's Christmas, you've got to have. And I was looking around and I couldn't find any. And eventually in one of the shops, I found a packet of, in the whole packet of Christmas tree ornaments, beaded Christmas tree ornaments, not Christmas tree, just beaded ornaments. And it comes in a pack, and you get 2 of these stars and 2 Christmas trees and 2, I suppose like a bauble or a little circle ones. And you can, as you can see, you know, they're made for the top of the Christmas tree. And I was thinking, you know, you get those earring attachments for making beaded earrings and stuff. How hard can it be just to put an attachment on these? So I'm going to make myself Christmas earrings. I am dead chuffed with these. So Emma just sort of shakes his head. He doesn't really understand the need for big, gaudy Christmas earrings. But that's what I need. So I think I'm going to do, you know, like, how cool would that be as a set of earrings? Come on, that is awesome. And trees, the trees tend to curve a bit. Anyway, there would be my Christmas trees. And then I don't know, I've dropped the one bauble. I've lost it somewhere. Anyway, then the little bauble ones. But I really think I was delighted when I spotted these. And they weren't very expensive, you know. So I thought for getting 3 sets of earrings out of it. And they're hand beaded. And I really like supporting beading projects and stuff. I'm going to make little Christmas earrings. So I was quite delighted with my purchases, with my acquisitions this week. Rachel just reminded me that I had forgotten one of our purchases that we'd got at the watershed because she was hanging on the Christmas tree. Now there was a lady there that was making crocheted and knitted things, and they all made from either, I think it's bamboo or cotton, you know, 100% cotton. And she sits there and she makes them herself, and they were the cutest. I just think they are just so cute. She lives in one of the rural areas, and she just sits there and she makes these little decorations. And there was a little sausage dog, and there was, it's got wings. It's got little wings on it. And so this was the fairy that we got. Is she a fairy or an angel? I think she's an angel. I just think she's so funny and just so cute. So this is the little angel that we got to go on the Christmas tree. There were some really cute sausage dogs, and there was another stall that had with African. Please just tell him to stop tapping on the window. Sorry, the children are home recording this part, and Caleb is tapping on the window. I'm not going to have long to finish this. Sorry, with 3 children. And yeah, there's another store that had with African sort of fabric and African print, little rhinos and elephants and all sorts of other things. So the watershed itself was actually beautiful, and my camera battery was flat, so I didn't get to take any pictures when we were in there, so I couldn't really get to show you what it's like. It was a bit difficult to do it with 3 children. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe try to go at some point when I don't have all 3 children with me and try and take some photographs, and maybe a bit more of a tour of the waterfront, you know, what the V&A waterfront is like, and a bit of an out and about. It was just impossible with 3 sort of rather miserable. Well, no, they were actually very good, but you know, there's a limited amount you can do with kids. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you our little angel that we got as well. I just think she's so great. So this is the kind of thing I hang on my Christmas tree. I have loads of things, and a knitted sweater that Claire gave me, that she made for me, and I really like her, and other things that my felted things that my friends have made, and all sorts of stuff. So as I say, just a short episode today while I have a free house and the children are out, and I will catch up with you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.